Welcome to All Worn Out. I'm your host, Warren Meredith. On the show today, Steph Leger of punk band Wet for Days. They're in the studio, they've got an album, it's almost ready, and they've got wicked shows coming up in the near future for you to attend. Let's get into it with Steph Leger. Hi everybody, welcome to All Worn Out. It's a podcast about music. It's a podcast about what you're passionate about. And it's a podcast about what our guest is passionate about. I'm very pleased and excited to welcome the very radical, the bodacious, the very outlandish punk princess of Ottawa, Steph Leger of Wet for Days.
Hello, thank you, Warren. I'm super stoked to be here. Very happy for you, and I'm honored. Looking at all the guests you've had, this is super awesome. What a cool thing you got going.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah. And cheers.
Cheers.
Steph brought some lovely beer today for me to drink with her, and this is Beyond the Pale.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, one of my favorite local breweries.
Yes. Excellent.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ah, very good. Oh, grapefruity. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. It's my second podcast of the day. You know, I knew that Steph was going to be a strong batter here. So I knew, I didn't have to do too much work, but I did do some research. So, Steph, I saw some videos, and in the beginning of Wet for Days, were you guys a four-piece?
No.
Never, eh? So you've always been the trio.
Yes.
Has it always been the same trio?
Yes.
So that's you, Deirdre,
yeah, and Sarah.
Yeah.
Did you see a video with a fourth person?
Listen, like I said, people, that I don't have very good vision.
Okay.
But I did watch videos, and maybe I thought I saw a fourth person, but I'm talking about back in like 2020 or 2022, where I think the video was.
Our first show was in 2022, so.
Okay, yeah. Oh, see, now I'm making up new dates and new years for Wet for Days. We're off to a great start, everybody. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's all good. That's why I'm here to.
Exactly. Set the record straight.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, just me, Sarah, and Deirdre. We kind of formed in 2020, like right before the pandemic, and then it took a while to get things going, obviously, because we couldn't necessarily practice together for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
We played our first show in 2022 at Targ in August, and just kind of hit the ground running since. So.
Yeah, that pandemic definitely slowed a lot of us down, and wasn't a lot of fun. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But you guys came back really strong, I think. Some bands, it really took it out of them, but I think you guys came back really strong.
Yeah. It was. I think it was a good time to just write and still have that like creative, because we weren't technically like playing yet. We were still just like writing and. Kind of forming ideas and practicing when we could. So it was definitely good to have that outlet in that time to focus on putting our songs together and that sort of thing. So yeah. Yeah,
and when I met you guys, or when I met you, I should say, I believe you were in Neonera.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like quite a while ago, and I met up with another member of Neonera not too long ago, playing a show with them.
Yeah.
They're of course now in a new band too.
Yeah.
But you've always struck me as a very, what's the word? Like, eclectic musically almost. Like, when you were in Neonera, it was like alternative, it was out there, it was a little different.
Yeah.
And now with Wet for Days, it's punk.
Yeah.
But, man, is it catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting into it when I was listening.
Yeah.
And so, like, Alpha Male, I was listening to that song. I thought that was fun to sing along with.
Yeah.
But also... there was one other one that I really liked. Oh yeah, the Kill Your Ego song.
Yeah.
That song kicks butt.
Yeah. Nothing is out on streaming platforms or released yet, but given we've been a band for 4 years, it's taken a little while. We're all moms, we're all busy. Obviously it's not easy to get the time and to get into the studio, but we've been working with Steve at Audio Valley for the past couple months and have 7 songs pretty much almost ready to go. So we're like beyond excited to finally get these songs out. So keep an eye out. We'll be posting a bunch once they're done.
7 songs.
7 songs, yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked about it. But like I said, we've been working on these songs since 2020 and they're ready, they're fine-tuned, they're, where we wanted them to be. And we're really excited to get them out into the world.
Cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And have you guys done like a lot of house parties, or has it still been a lot of the regular bar scene?
A little bit of both. So yeah, if you look into our band and our singer-guitarist, Sarah has a house venue called The Womb, which she started a couple years ago now, I think. And we've played there a few times. We played the grand opening of The Womb. And it's kind of a really good, like, organic punk scene, sort of vibe, which we love, which Sarah and Deirdre both really love. They both come from, like, a punk scene as well, where that was, they were in another punk band together called Raw Riot, and I think a lot of their foundation was playing, punk houses and stuff, so it's very close to their heart, and I have a lot of fun every time we play with them too, so yeah, check out The Womb. It's on Instagram and everything. It's
so cool The Womb.
The Womb, yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
It's all like very smart and all that stuff, and that's great. But what I think is better is I listened to that music and I thought it was amazing. I thought that it suited what you're trying to portray perfectly, and yet was really fun to listen to. It, like, I'm not a punk, but my knowledge is limited, but it did remind me of Ramones. It did remind me of like classic punk that you would that would come to mind, and I like that. I like chants. I like getting into it, and repetitive choruses. All that stuff makes me happy. Yeah. It's like, it's straightforward, but like driving good energy. We're all very, passionate about what we write about. That's like a huge foundation of who we are as a band too, is that we're writing and singing about stuff that drives us and gets us, motivated and going. So it's good. Sometimes even in our writing sessions, it's good when you like get goosebumps while you're playing the songs. It's like, okay, this is where I want to be. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we've got a couple really good hooks and bridges, when you're a songwriter, that's the certain moments in a song that build. And, we're not obviously like a progressive band, but even in the punk, you can make it just really like hit. Hits,
People might think that bass players are just bass players. And listen, folks, maybe there are bass players who are just bass players, but I don't know them. And for example, our bass player, he's the only one in our band who's capable of playing in an orchestra, because he has. And the rest of us could just say, like, oh, well, that'd be really cool to play in an orchestra. But Alex is like, I already did that. And it's like, okay, all right. And, like, he's the most organized. He's the one who keeps us grounded. He's the one who's best at planning. There's just so much he does. And songwriting is a passion. Like, you might think, oh, bass players, they don't like song. That's not true at all. At least from my experience. So do you like writing songs?
I do, yeah, but I would say in Wet for Days, Sarah's definitely more the kind of sole songwriter. We do work together when we are in the writing process. So someone can come with like a riff. I've came with bass riffs. Sarah's made up some guitar riffs and had some lyrics, and it all comes together. But definitely the process of putting the song together, figuring out the drum parts, all that happens together, which is really cool. And it slowly grows. And
are you allowed to challenge her melody at some point, or challenge the lyrics, or not even just ask for, like, give insight? Be like, yo, what if you did the lyrics this way? Is she gonna snap at you? Because I ask sincerely, because like my guitarist will throw me out of the studio when we're recording, and if I make a face, like if he makes a mistake, I'm like, oh, and then I'll be like, oh, Joe, if you'd only just done this, and they're like, get out.
Really?
Get out of the studio right now. You're messing with my head. So like I would get it. Like some people are like, don't mess with my lyrics. They're my words. Yeah. And I'm not like that. I'm again in the studio. I'm begging everyone in the band, like, come over and tell me you like the lyrics too, so that if they suck, the world, I'll say it's not just me. It's not just me. They said it was good. But But yeah, so you're
Yeah,
allowed to challenge it or ask for a change or
Yeah,
something.
for sure. I mean, we are also like three pretty strong-headed women, so there's been some practices where we've been butting heads, and you know, somebody like it can depend on just the day you've had too, where you're not having it, and you're like, no, I don't want to make that change, you know, like I've been doing it this way, and that's how it goes, right? Like,
Yes.
or you know,
Yes.
somebody makes a suggestion, we try it. And it's just not working, and then like it's not like a make or break thing, but
It's
there's
supposed
moments.
to be like improv. Yeah, I don't know if you ever did improv in high school, but like when you do improv, Sasha, you're the exemption rule to improv, which is like when something happens in improv, you're supposed to say yes and go with it. Sasha, no, go and lay down, leave Steph alone, and leave the podcast alone. You harass the podcast every night, Sasha. Okay, the
sure
guests
people
are
love it.
getting tired of it. They're sending letters.
Sasha's gonna need a shirt soon. You should tell Johnny.
Oh my God. Sasha, please go lay down. I will take you out afterwards. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's better sometimes to go with it. You know, like if somebody says to me, Warren, why don't you try the lyrics like this? Maybe I'm like, frig, I don't want to. But the best course of action generally is just go with it. Give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Worst that can happen is you go, no, it doesn't work. And then you move on, you know? But again, that's that rule of improv. You say yes, you go with it.
Yeah.
But some people in music are very opinionated, and that's
it can be
okay.
tricky though too. It can be tricky to navigate if you do have someone who's very, you know, set in their ways, and then you gotta try and navigate that if you want to have your say. But yeah, no, I think with What for Days we've all came to a good, happy, you know, understanding when we're writing that it's, you know, a group effort.
So let's go back. So I'm just checking the audio again there.
Okay.
It's okay. So let's go back in time to when you were very young. And what is the very first mainstream song that you can remember, or not mainstream, I guess? What's the first main song you can remember as like a 3 or 4 or a 5-year-old where, you know, it was a cool song?
Oh, that young? I don't remember much from that young.
Can you remember a favorite flavor from that time?
I've always been a pretty big fan of strawberry. I guess that's one of my favorite flavors. Still to this day. Yeah, but songs, like I've obviously been obsessed with music since a very young age, but 3, 4, I don't know why that part of my memory is kind of, I feel like my memory starts more at like 8, which is odd, but
okay,
I have like some memories before then, but nothing like really, it's weird. But
let's say you're 8. What kind
yeah,
of music
8,
can you remember being impactful?
Yeah, I know, like, I can tell you what my first couple CDs were. So I definitely had, like, TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool was one of my first CDs that my brother ordered me on Columbia Records. There was that one. I obviously went through the Backstreet Boys Spice Girl phase because that was, like, the prime when I was younger. I was into them big time. Alanis Morissette, that was all very prominent in my younger days, for
Me
sure.
too.
Yeah.
You're naming a lot of stuff that I remember.
Yeah.
Very much.
How old are you? I feel like we're. Or what year
I'm
were you
86.
I was born in 87, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like the same.
90s.
90s. Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, but.
I was all about the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And I think the first
Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. I had the New Kids on the Block. Sorry, everybody. Sasha has now found a squeaky toy on the couch, and once again, she's telling me to throw the ball. I'm gonna throw her out of the house in a minute, so she's got like 2 more strikes left, I think, and that's about it.
It's like your parent, I have kids. It's like, what do you gotta do?
How do you do that? How do you be a mom and be in a band?
Well, yeah. Do you need to?
Yeah, I'm gonna let her out. I'm just gonna start it back up, folks.
Okay.
So there was a dog interruption. I can't do anything about Sasha. She's 115 pounds, folks. Okay. Sorry. So we were talking about Backstreet Boys. We were talking about New Kids on the Block, the 90s.
The 90s.
That musical influence. When does punk enter your musical lexicon?
Definitely high school. I'd say once I kind of grade 8 going into grade 9, I was like kind of yeah, when you talked earlier about my diverse musical taste, definitely across the map, like kind of just dove into everything. But got really into the punk scene in probably grade 9. A few of my friends were like really introducing me to, Pennywise, Bad Religion, NoFX, like, and a little bit more obscure stuff too. I was like super into AFI, which isn't really obscure, but at the time they were like,
I loved AFI.
I like the early albums. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, that was the best. And I wasn't into the punk scene. I wasn't considered cool by those kids.
Yeah.
Those kids scared me for the most part. But it was just because I was such a little wiener of a kid, you know.
Yeah.
But AFI was cool.
Yeah,
there was,
cool.
And so was NoFX actually. Like once I got into NoFX too, but that was the Napster effect.
Yeah.
Suddenly I became a music expert.
Mm-hmm.
I had very limited musical knowledge, and then when Napster came out, within 2 years of its in LimeWire or whatever it was, my knowledge went boom.
Mm-hmm.
I knew 80s, I knew 70s, I downloaded files and files, and ruined and crashed the music industry that I would one day want to be a part of.
I know, it's kind of crazy, eh?
We didn't know. Well, maybe I did. I still would have done it. I still would have.
I know. And like back then you just kind of whatever you got access to, you soaked it up so much. Like now I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of music that's out there at our fingertips. But then it was like you got albums. I still like, I went to the record store and bought CDs and I listened to them front to back and I had my collection and it was like a prized thing, which it's sort of coming back a little bit, but it was like a time where you just kind of dissected every album you had,
I remember burning CDs and like when I figured out ways to burn like 100 songs on one CD, I was like, this is it. We pretty much reached the end of technology. There's nowhere else to go. And then they're like, oh, there's these MP3 players, and then there's this, and then there's that, and there's a BlackBerry, and then BlackBerry's nothing, and on it goes, and but the music stays the same. And the beat goes on, as the song says, from back in the day. Like, a lot changes, but the music keeps going. So those are some pretty cool punk influences, and you can definitely...
Yeah, and I went to Warped Tour in Montreal, so like my sister lived in Montreal, and I went and saw AFI by myself. I took the train up and just went to the show because I wanted to see them really bad, like when I was a teenager, and... Yeah, I'd go to Warped Tour and just like, I don't know, I love that energy. I love the raw kind
of... Dance, what's that song? Yeah, God, that's so good. Now I've got this song in my head that I love, it's AFI. I think it's called Dancing Through Misery or something like that. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love the high school memories just...
I know, there's certain ones that just stick with you, right?
I was so
obsessed.
innocent.
I wasn't, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but that's... Okay, but all right, here we go. I mean, this is great because when I was in like grade 9, grade 10, I still hadn't hit puberty. Like not even a wink of it until the end of grade 10.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a good growth spurt till the end of grade 10. All the girls grew over me in grade 7. So for me it was rough, kids, because through public school, I had a lot of girlfriends, okay? They thought it was funny. They thought it was cute. Grade 7 came along. They were a foot taller than me now.
Oh.
I thought they looked great, but they did not think I looked good.
Oh.
And they were after the grade 9 guys at that point, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And, but, hey, it all goes and everything goes around in a circle. And
it's true, yeah. Yeah, and I'm going through that now. I have a 16-year-old. My oldest is 16, and I have 3 kids, 16, 14, and 10. So it's kind of wild to be... Yeah, in that parenting.
Are they into the music at all?
Not as much. Like they all love music, but my two middle, like my daughter and my youngest are in piano right now, and Abby's my daughter. She's pretty into she's a Swiftie and into that sort of stuff. It's hard to.
She's a Swiftie.
I don't know, like she's 14.
Wow, she's a Swiftie.
She's right in, but they're surrounded by music all the time. Like we practice Wet for Days practices in my basement, and they're definitely exposed to a lot. And I bring them around to shows more so when they were younger. They'd come to Blues Fest and stuff. Now they're kind of like don't really want to hang out with their parents.
What? What? That'll change.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna change, and you're like, go away.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you. Me and your father need some time. And they'll be like, but I've realized you guys aren't that bad. Too bad. Go.
We're done.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love my kids. It's
So you said they do piano, and so the music is kind of in them too. Then.
Yeah. And even my youngest, his piano teacher was like, he's got really good rhythm really quickly. And I'm like, it's probably from listening to me like practice bass all the time in the house, like, you know. So we'll see.
I credit my mom with my voice.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. She was the singer in the house, and
music, yeah.
that was the ear. That's where I think I developed my ear.
Nice.
And I think that's true for all babies. I think, you get sung to, and that's where it begins. That's where that first, those notes trickle down. I mean, my 10-month-old niece is like insane. She was dancing at 6 months.
Oh, that's
like
sweet.
knowing like what music, like with the little egg shaker. I was like, that's wild. Like, nope, she didn't copy that. Most of what she does is like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
But that was just like, oh, she felt it.
Yeah.
She just felt it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool about music.
Cool.
And smiling. That's what's so cool about music, about emotions and smiling and music. It's like that stuff's like hardwired.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 16, I mean, what kind of music are they into?
He's like, I don't know. I feel like of all my 3 kids, he's probably the least like into music. He's super into like F1 and gaming, and I feel like he listens to kind of gaming type music, I guess. I don't even know. Yeah, it's
makes sense to me because I know Double Experience, and those guys pretty much make music for gamers. So like, I totally get it.
My youngest is into anime, and so he's showing me these like really obscure Japanese bands. And I'm just like, he's like, check it out, that he discovered on some anime, and I'm like, this is actually really good.
Oh yeah, I went through that phase too.
Yeah, and it's like
Full Moon something, a glow. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. There was like one anime I watched. It was about like a rock band in Japan.
Yeah. And
it had like a whole soundtrack that I was just in love with. And my parents were like, "What? He's singing Japanese?"
Yeah, I know. Like he sings the words. I'm like, okay.
You don't understand. It's very emotional. Like anime is so much more in touch with its emotions than most other cartoons, although that's changed dramatically, balanced out a lot more in the last, 10 years. Rick and Morty and shows like that kind of showed a certain kind of like alertness inside modern, modern comedic shows that are drawn. So like they're having awareness now, like AI.
Yeah.
Scary. Soon there'll be AI punk bands, and there'll be AI everything, folks. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. It's just like...
Okay, so then we'll move on. Whenever you were... What was your first band that you were ever in?
My first, actual band was Neonair, actually.
Cool. So then when did you pick up that bass?
I picked up the bass, when I was 16, so in that punk rock phase, I started playing. I bought a bass off my friend who was selling it. I played guitar before that, but then I was super driven to the bass. And then I bought that off my friend. He's in a really awesome band called Dead Wolf. If you haven't heard of them, check them out. They're based in Toronto.
Cool.
Yeah, they're super super good. And then I took lessons and was just dove right in, really big into the Chili Peppers, Jamiroquai, that kind of stuff too. It was I want to learn all these really funky bass lines, at 16. And then I just life happened. I moved out west for a bit, and then came back to Ottawa and had kids pretty young, so I didn't really have time to be in a band for my entire 20s. I was raising little humans. And then I decided, in my early 30s that I was I really, really want to get into playing music again. And my husband's been super supportive with that. And I just kind of went all in and, started taking lessons again, kind of get my skills back up. And, then I just, the opportunities started to trickle. And now I'm in 3 bands. Aside from Wet for Days, I've got 2 other side cover projects too, so...
Okay, what are these other cover projects?
I have a cover band made up of neighbor friends called Never Too Late, and we just play all your favorite cover tunes. Other parent friends of mine that live in the neighborhood that also are passionate about music, so we put a band together. Pretty relaxed, but we've got almost like 3 sets worth of songs now, so it's fun and low key. And then I was asked to join another cover band called Chick 182, which is a Blink 182 cover, all-female cover band. I was hesitant because I'm so busy, but I took it on and it's been fun. I've just been learning like 30 Blink 182 songs in a very short amount of time, but it's a lot of fun to play. And,
where are you?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That voice, I love to make fun of that character.
Oh, me too.
I love it so much. It's from my childhood. It was
my
first, one of my first CD tapes that I bought, with the nurse with the glove.
Yeah,
and my
me
mom
too.
going,
Yeah.
I don't know if you should have this.
Yeah, it's the
going,
same.
Why, Mom? What's wrong? It's just a nurse. She's a naughty nurse.
Yeah.
She's got a glove on. It's suggesting something, but why? And,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had that album too. That was another one in my early, teen years, but not like a huge Blink-182 fan. So when they asked, I was like, I don't know. And then I had one jam with them, and Kira and Allison are both really great musicians too. And it just kind of clicked. I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be really fun. And Allison has a great voice. I really like her voice almost more than Tom's. So it's kind of nice, when we practice. I'm like, it's like an indie kind of twist on Blink-182, but we make it work and we have a lot of fun. So we're playing at the Rainbow on the 23rd if anybody wants to come. And then, What For Days is playing.
Talking about the 23rd of August to go see
Chick 182.
Chick 182.
At the Rainbow.
At the Rainbow. Love
We're
the
playing
Rainbow.
2 sets. If you're a Blink fan, we will cover many of their albums and just have a lot of fun. So.
Are you covering the new song?
We have 2 off the new album, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good, because I only like the new stuff.
You only like the new stuff?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm just joking. But that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you must be so busy.
It's very busy, yeah. Moments, and then I have a full-time job. So, there are times where I'm just like, whew. But I'm trying to just manage it all. And obviously, when you're passionate about music, you just kind of want to say yes and do all the things. And, it's good. It's good. Focusing on recording and...
Oh, yeah. It can get overwhelming, and you really have to block things out and try and be like, oh, this is for recording time, and this is show time, and this is that. And also,
time management.
Look at business quarters. That'll really help bands, too, I find.
Yeah.
Just break down your whole year with your band in advance. And it can really help. Just for scheduling, right? Because everybody wants to do vacay and this and that, so if you can get a year schedule going,
that's smart. To see where you're productive.
Parts and then oh well, this month we're all gonna go on vacay at this time, and or whatever.
Big,
we try and do that, but it is difficult sometimes. But it's also difficult just to run and gun and do a schedule too. So have you guys been traveling and playing a lot of different places?
Not really, no. So, What For Days we want to. That's our plan, but we're waiting until we have these songs.
So you have this album, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of our goal. So
that
hopefully,
makes sense.
Yeah, we want to be able to go there with something, and other than t-shirts and
that makes sense.
So that's kind of our goal. Once this album's out, probably next year we'll do a little, Toronto, Kingston, Montreal kind of thing. And so many people have reached out to us, they want us to come. We just we're not quite there yet, but we're very soon, very, very soon. We're gonna hit up all those scenes. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, please, let's go and do it.
And
there's a couple bands. You're one of them, and I think it's okay. You can go see a band, but can you go see 4 chicks that
3?
Oh my god.
There's a mysterious.
You know why?
4th person. I'm curious who this is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this video afterwards.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But
don't apologize.
They are a trio, folks. I'm such a fool.
It's okay.
But you could go see anything, or you can go see these 3 badass chicks who are singing about stuff that you're not used to and issues that need to be talked about. And I think that's cool. I think it needs to be more than just going to see a band these days. You need to have an edge. You need to have another angle to it if you can to help. And you guys definitely have that.
Yeah, it's honestly, like, I'm reminded of it every time we play a show and someone comes up to me and is just like, oh my god, like someone who either were playing an opening act, didn't know who we were or anything, and then like, or people who had heard of us but we don't have any music online, so they just came and it's just like exceeded their expectations. And
I really liked
like,
what I heard online.
Oh, good, that's good. Yeah, there's not a lot. So
But
I
wanted to hear the recorded stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really good. I'm so excited for everybody to finally hear it.
So like, and like, it is limitless for you. I got the pleasure of opening for Bad Skin.
Oh,
Twice.
Yeah, we talked about them. They're
at
awesome.
Canadian Music Week.
Yeah.
And I don't know. These girls are fearless. That's the first thing I'll tell you about them. Is they're real fearless on stage, but they love it.
Yeah.
And what I would say is why it's so, the possibilities for you are endless, because they play shows in places I wish I could play.
Oh.
They played all over Eastern Europe and places like that, and finding cool festivals where like punk is really desirable.
Yeah.
You know, and so I do think that those doors are going to open for you with that recorded material.
Yeah.
And
I'm super excited.
Yeah, jump into it. And it's like, there was a girl on here a couple days ago, Rowan, and she's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that.
And she was saying, like, you know, because I was complimenting her and saying, like, your social media game is very strong, you know, way stronger than mine. And she said, yeah, but I'm a girl. And I said, okay, here we go. So I said, I want you to realize that if you recognize this as an edge, then you keep your edge. And you don't ever let anybody round that edge off. Don't ever anybody try and set that aside, because that's part of who you are. That's you know, no one should question that. And I'm not thinking, oh, you're a girl, so you're good at social media. I'm not thinking that way. I'm just thinking, Rowan's awesome at social media. And that's the way we all need to, I think, kind of think.
I know lots of guys or whatever, even like gender aside, just people who are really great at social media.
That's
it doesn't matter of your gender. Like, we are 3 women, and I wouldn't say we're necessarily that great at social media. Like, we're okay, but we're very busy, and it's not always at our forefront either.
That's right.
It's important, but I don't want to totally...
And yet, it's a marketing edge.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And in fact, it's great. And no one should use that against you. I mean, that's the same as when people were trying to say about rappers or about rockers. Or rockers are too... they're hippies. They smoke too much weed. They do this. They do this. They do that. Well, okay. Scale it back a little bit. We're getting into great generalities and all these kinds of things. But yeah, if you have an edge, use it. I'm a ginger, and instead of being afraid of it, I called myself the Ginger Fox. And that's just, you know, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But I tried. And you know, right?
Yeah.
Bars would say, Where's the Ginger Fox?
Oh.
And I'd say, I'm here. And then the sound guy go, no, like, Ginger Fox is a girl. She's a hot girl. And I said, no, that would be the Ginger Vixen.
Oh, there you go.
You know, I'm sorry, you just, you know, and they'd be like, not impressed. They'd look at me like, no. Yeah. So it didn't work for me that way. But yeah, if you have an edge, keep it. Yeah. And part of being a trio of an all-girl punk band that's part of your edge.
Your edge,
so it's cool.
Yeah, and moms, like, that's a big thing.
Yes.
Punk rock mom band, that's their thing. And so when I tell people about it, they're just like, what? And they're so inspired. And like, at work, like, I work at Long McQuaid, so I'm getting like parents coming in all the time whose kids are in lessons, and I start to chat with them, and they're like, you're in a band? And then I inspire them. I'm like, yeah, like, get out there, play an instrument. Like, just because you don't have to focus everything into, like, you know, there's no reason why you can't. And then their eyes kind of light up, and that's what I love. I love inspiring people to just, you know, go for it and go at it. And it doesn't matter, you know, you don't have to stop life when you become a parent. And yeah, I think we're all pretty passionate, energetic women, you know, who are just kind of go after what we want, and it's, you know, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, your kids look like you. Do you hear that a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, I've realized that now, that we're all like clones of our mothers. And then like we just changed a little, a little bit, you know, but...
One thing I love, my daughter, because I often like to cook and listen to music in the kitchen, and like, you know, and that's just one thing I like to do. And then lately I've noticed she'll grab the Bluetooth speaker and cook, and she doesn't want me to come in. She's listening to music, and I look over and I'm like, that's me. Like, it's kind of wild to be like, she's enjoying this. Like, no one's telling her to cook. She's just deciding this is what I'm going to do. And it's just, it's really wild to look and see yourself in your kids. It's like crazy. But yeah, physical as well. They do look a lot like me. But
I bet you they're a lot like you too. Yeah.
Yeah, in ways. Yeah, they're
Piano's
all
a frustrating instrument to learn. It takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, but it's a good foundation to start off. Like
the best.
Yeah, I told them like learn anything you want, but they both chose piano for starters. And
I think it's the best to start with.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you can really develop your ear. I think really fast with that.
Yeah.
Just because you got all the notes at your disposal, very easy peasy. The bass, I tried playing it a couple times, grade 7, 8, because it was cooler than playing the xylophone. And although I did play the xylophone, I was pretty good at it. I was better at it than the bass. But anyways, my mom played the stand-up bass in high school.
It's so fun.
And she said like carrying that home back in the day was a bit of
tough.
work, you know?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't play one of those. They're super fun, but I just feel like so cumbersome to lug around everywhere.
So you were talking about bands you liked growing up. I was talking with someone else about Johnny McConnell here. We were talking about Our Lady Peace. And so you're from, like, we're similar age. So do you remember that album and, like, how it was just Wonderwall was played every day, everywhere, and we couldn't really get away from it? Yeah, that was our nostalgia lane down that road.
Yeah, I definitely went through an Our Lady Peace. I grew up with 3 older brothers and an older sister, so I feel like they would be listening to a lot of Our Lady Peace, Tea Party, Headstones, like that all played in my house a lot just from my siblings. So yeah, definitely nostalgic there. I never really obsessed over Our Lady Peace or anything, but they were always part of my growing up. Yeah.
Sorry, not Our Lady Peace. That was one of the bands I was thinking of. But
you said
Wonderwall.
That's Oasis.
Oasis.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I did have that album. What's it called again? That Wonderwall is on. I forget what that album is called. But yeah, no, I know. Yeah, they were like they played in my childhood, but again, nothing.
That wasn't a focal point.
No.
Spice Girls wasn't a focal point.
Spice Girls was. Backstreet Boys definitely were.
Spice Girls was huge to my sister. She's a year younger than you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. She had the sticker books.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. Everything, all the, and then I went into like this crazy weird hip hop phase. and then I veered to like.
Was that about guys? Was that about like trying to hang out with cool guys?
I don't know. I just got super into hip hop at like grade 8. I feel like was really big, and like I always liked knowing about different artists that maybe other people didn't know about. So it always like, oh yeah, check out this. I don't know. That was weird, but.
I remember the school dances, and I'll never forget, Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, yes. I was obsessed with Ja Rule back then.
Ja Rule and J-Lo. And
J-Lo.
Baby, baby. And then, the next video would be like Eminem, and it was like, but it was Slim Shady.
It was Slim Shady.
And it was Slim Shady, and it was... Wow, what a wild time, folks. Let me tell you right now, back then it was the future. Yeah. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Not so much. Yeah. But, it's still, I think people are still dancing, thankfully. That's hopefully not going to go away. I mean, technology's changing things, but I don't think it'll take that away from us.
Yeah.
At least not for a while, not till the robots take all the fun away.
Yeah.
So what else were you really into then? Besides music, besides your family, what are your other passions, or what were your other passions in high school or going forward?
Yeah. Music's definitely always been the forefront for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I just honestly, like my high school, I missed a lot of school because I hopped on the train. My dad worked for CN, so I got free train travel, and my sister lived in Montreal. So I convinced my parents to be like, hey, I'm going to this show in Montreal. Like, I still have my album of all the shows I saw in those years, and it's kind of nuts because I was like all in. My brother took me to my first concert, and then I was just like obsessed with live music from like, probably 15 on. And every opportunity I could, I was going to shows, and he would take me to the States to see shows, and I'd go to Montreal for all these different random bands I'd want to see and hang out and wander the streets by myself at 16. It was just like, that's kind of what I did. I always had like a very adventurous kind of personality, and just, growing up, my parents couldn't really tell me no. Sometimes I just was like, no, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And I moved out west when I was 17, and
What was it like out west at 17?
It was a little crazy, yeah.
Were you
partied a lot, for sure.
Okay, you were partying out there. Were you working at all out there?
I did, yeah. I worked in Music World. Do you remember Music World?
Oh, heck yeah.
That was one of my jobs. I had a couple different ones, but that one was fun. Yeah.
That transitioned into HMV.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And before that, it was like ATA Music or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's sad because now there's nothing. But yes.
I know. Anyways.
That's cool. And out west. I've never really been out there. Never done that. And I saw the Stampede stuff going on this year, but I mean, all I could hear was like my mom going in the background. Oh, those poor horses. And I'm like, well, yes, I guess, Mom. I don't know enough to say anything, I really don't. But it's entertaining. I know that. Obviously, since it's been going on for so long. So how long were you out there for?
Probably like a year and a half.
Okay, so that's kind of like when I went to Toronto.
Yeah, just like a kind of like, I don't know.
It's almost...
Didn't know what you want to do with life.
Yeah.
And, and then my brother lived here in Ottawa, and he was like, why don't you come live here with me? And so I came back, and then I met my husband like pretty soon after moving here, and the rest is history. Was music a common factor for you and your husband? Yeah, we met at Barrymore's.
Oh.
This band I'm from the East Coast. I'm from New Brunswick, and this band I used to go see all the time called Jimmy Swift Band was playing, and we had both happened to go. We happened to have some like mutual friends, and just started chatting, and then it was kind of like just hit it off from there, and the rest is history. Yeah. I was pretty young. I just turned 19, but I don't like. I'm happy with the way everything worked out. So.
Yeah, I've met him. I think he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And
super supportive, and we still have that young, passionate, crazy side of us that loves doing, going to shows. We did Metallica and Guns N' Roses last year, which was super fun. I'm reminiscing of that because it was 1 year ago, and I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Didn't do as much this summer, but we went to California. That's what we did, and Vegas and Arizona. So that was a cool trip we did earlier this year. But,
cool. Yeah. So when are you doing recording that album?
Yeah, with What for Days. We're recording it now. It's like in the process. So
you're with Steve Foley at Audio Valley, and you have the 7 tracks.
Yeah, so we've got basically all the beds done for all of them. The only thing left is vocals and a couple solos. So we're like very, very close. Steve is awesome. He's like the kind of like, we needed someone who was like quick because we don't have a lot of time to like, we needed someone who's just like to the point. And we've been very helpful for that.
Awesome.
Grateful to have him to work with, and everything we've heard back so far, he sounded really great. So, yeah.
Well, now is the time to put the pressure, the unfair pressure, on that vocalist of yours.
Yeah.
Because that's what my band does to me, and always has. They'll be like, well, we did our part. We laid it down. Sounds amazing. Now, if it sucks, it's on you. If it's not good, it's because the vocals are no good. And then I'm like, to the producer, I'm like, Ross, is that true? And he'll be like, pretty much. He'll be like, vocals are, 50% of the song. And I'll be like, what? No. And I'm like, yeah. If people don't like your voice, they're pretty much just going to turn it off.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, ay, caramba. But I mean, that's the pressure of a vocalist, and also the fun of it, right? Like,
yeah. I think Sarah's pretty confident about the sound that she brings, and what she's also very, if she doesn't like the way something, she'll just keep doing it until she gets it the way that she wants it to sound, and the way we want it to sound, So it's not like a quick thing. It's more like this is our work. I'm proud of it. I want to come out of it feeling really good about it. So. We won't. Yeah, we just. I wanted to talk about this too because we were just in the studio this past weekend recording a song for Mötherhead. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yes.
So we're doing a movie. I don't know if you were gonna talk about that later, but
no,
just because it's in the whole recording thing, and Sarah did awesome with the vocals, and we all just kind of like, you just keep doing it until you get that sound that you want, and it's you're proud of and confident with, and
making a soundtrack for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So as a band, are you getting together, you're throwing ideas, you're throwing riffs, or you're being requested, like, write me a song for this type of feeling scenario?
Yeah, so we were approached by this movie director, Angie Mills, who is making this movie called Mötherhead, and it's basically the story of moms who form a band after they have kids, and she wanted us to record Ace of Spades, but she rewrote the lyrics. So we recorded Ace of Spades this past Saturday, Angie rewrote the lyrics and Sarah sang them, and it's going to be the feature song for this movie that's being filmed next week at DeCuff, and it's going to be released as a short, and then it could potentially become like a full feature if someone picks it up. So we're super excited. It's been really, really fun to do. And we can't believe she asked us to do this, and it's all just, it's been really cool.
What a cool experience.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Angie Mills, I believe the name rings a bell. Has she been doing TV or movie stuff in town for a while?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Many moons ago. Many
I think
moons.
she's based out of Carleton Place now, but she's been in the Ottawa movie
Yeah,
scene.
many moons ago I worked in television.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that before.
I think so. That name rings a bell.
Yeah.
But the problem, folks, is my name might ring a bell too. Some people out there from the TV world, and they may remember.
So is that what inspired you to do this podcast? Is your
I went to
background
school.
in TV?
I did go to TV broadcasting.
Right.
At Algonquin, and then I worked in TV on
Right.
10 TV show-ishes, and then a short film and some other stuff as a grip.
Cool.
But what I got known for here was one day after a 13-hour work day, or 14-hour, who knows what it was, because we didn't stop, and we were in Orleans, and it was super hot out, and I had heat exhaustion, and I went back to get this cube van, and I passed where I had to turn, so I had to do a U-E. So I went into the parking lot there on Jean d'Arc, or whatever it's called, where it's a Taekwondo place. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's an awning, right, that comes out under the building. Well, the corner of the cube truck caught the awning, and it ripped it, and everything just went.
Oh God.
And the Taekwondo guy came out, and he was threatening me, oh no, and I was like, no, this is bad. And so I ran to go get my boss, but when I ran, they thought I was fleeing the scene.
Oh.
But I literally was just going up the hill to
to tell him what
not far at all, less than a block away.
Oh my God.
And there were people in their lawn chairs up on the hill, and they were going, hey, you got back here. And I was like, I gotta get the right people. I was 21 or something. I was freaking out.
Oh man, that would have been crazy.
And then my bosses were in trouble because we were supposed to be 25 to get insured.
Oh,
and I was driving those cubes around at 21, 22. So
geez.
Yeah, we were naughty. But I mean, that's, gosh.
Sometimes that happens in life.
Television, folks? Oh my God.
So you were done with it and you decided to become a rock star instead?
Kind of, yeah. I was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting into a band while I was working in TV, and then I was just for having fun, nothing serious at all. Actually, I was getting drunk most of the time. I wasn't in a band. I was just getting drunk at the Rainbow and going on stage and yelling into a microphone. I don't think it was very good at all, but I got addicted to it.
Yeah.
And then I went to theater school in Toronto, and I was not thinking about it. I was already changed.
Mm-hmm.
The marijuana and the music had already changed me. Listen, folks, I didn't take a single puff till I was 21 years old.
Okay, good
so
for you.
I was super, virgin brain there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it messed with me, but I was definitely a different person. And so when I was in theater school, I wasn't ready for it. It was I was now ready for music. I was geared for music. I wanted to write music. I had gotten hooked on it. So when I came back, I knew that's what I was going to do after I got kicked out of theater school. I knew that it was just music.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helped me get healthier over time.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because you have to realize what's important.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why people with music, you'll see that they'll thrive or die. Because if you're living for the music, it's great. It will save you. It will. But if you're living for the substance, then you're in trouble. It won't. The music might not help you at all.
Yeah, it becomes, detrimental, and then...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, there's nothing wrong with having a good time. Like, I had John Ryu in here and he was saying, hey man, I like to have a few shots of whiskey before I go on stage, bro. Like, it's just how it is. I'm like, I'm not judging. Not judging. But I also think it's cool for the guy to go out and drink like non-alcoholic beer and have a great show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I don't care either way.
No, I know. There's lots of shows where like I don't drink and I'm driving. I'm the one bringing all the gear, and I still have just as a great time. Like it's never a make or break thing, and it shouldn't be, right? Like you should be doing it because you want to be there, and that's what drives you.
So if you were talking to a group of girls right now who were in high school or in college, they're thinking about being in a band together.
Yeah.
Should they do it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you're passionate about it, I know for me, I was not confident in my playing abilities for a long time. I had a hard time even playing. Like I'd go to friends' parties and people would be jamming, and I'd be like, "No, I'm not good enough," and I'd just watch them, and I'd want to really bad just jump in there, but it took me a while to get that confidence. So I have to remember that, there is a time in your life where you might not have that same motivation and drive, like you're scared, but I just say just push past. It may seem really scary at first, but if you find the right people and you find that connection is so magical once you play with people, and it's absolutely. I want more people to feel encouraged and inspired to be in bands, and if that's what you're driven to do it for sure. Yeah.
Cool. And you feel like respected, appreciated in the music community when you go see a sound man? Do you feel like you're getting respect, or have you experienced a sound man who was like, oh gosh, this bunch of girls, they don't know what they're doing, or they mistreated you in some capacity in that way?
No, actually, we've been very well supported. I'm very grateful for, I think there was only one time we had a sound guy who literally paid no attention to us at all, but I don't know if that was because we were women or that was just his persona. But
yeah, it can be that.
Yeah. But otherwise, we've always been very well treated. Good. And very happy with all the support we've had in the scene from like men, women, everybody. It's been a very inclusive, experience so far, which is amazing. So yeah, if there's a time to go out and form a band as a woman, now is the time.
I would agree. Yeah. And and form a band, folks.
Yeah,
just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it.
Yes, exactly. You don't have to be sitting by yourself in your bedroom,
Don't be like old Warren.
In your basement.
Yeah, don't be in the basement like me. So you guys have had some wicked opening shows. DOA, Dayglow Abortions, Guttermouth, and soon the Creepshow.
The Creepshow, yes. We're playing with them in November at House of Target. I'm super, super excited. They're awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so, I think those other ones were Rawa Riot, but that's okay. That I think Sarah and Deirdre played in that. It's all good. It's all good. It's probably on our socials somewhere because we have, as band members, opened for those bands for sure. Wet for Days, we opened for Garden of Roses at Overflow, which was really cool. And The Adolescents was our first show. That was awesome. Agent Orange, which is like a punk band from the 80s from California, Brass Monkey. That was super cool. But the Creepshow is going to be awesome. So get your tickets. It's put on by Christina at Chord Productions, and it's
she's
November.
Really cool.
Yeah, she's awesome. So
she got me shows before at that venue, similar types of shows. Notes.
It's all good. No, it's all good. No, that's accurate. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you what, folks. Okay. Notes. You think the paper's gonna guide you? You think your map's gonna take you into shore? No.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm just messing around. Okay. I'm just.
It's still accurate. Deirdre and Sarah opened for those bands. Wet for Days.
It made me think about David Letterman. Again, dating myself. I don't care. But it made me think about David Letterman throwing the cards in the air. Like, I don't even care anymore.
No, you're talking about being improv. So let's go improv without the notes.
Exactly. Don't need them anymore.
Don't need them. No.
Forget about it. Yeah. So, I mean, you were the first episode. We had an interruption completely where I had to stop the video because of Sasha. So, like, I'm very sorry about that. I apologize.
It's all good.
Folks, I still hope it was good out there and you had fun. I think it's been a lot of fun still.
Thank you, Warren.
So what is next besides recording? Are you guys gonna? You have a bunch of more songs already written that you're like gonna record in a year?
We have a couple. One of them we almost put on this album, but we weren't quite done with it, so we were like, let's just wait, and then kind of almost keep that as we're talking about maybe the theme for our next album will be sort of around what these couple songs we have.
A theme?
Yeah, sort of. But I'm not going to go too into it.
I want you to think out there, bands. This is what it's all about. Even if the theme or the character, like, even if that stuff never makes it out into anything, like, I think it's cool for a band to, like, do all of its mythology and figure all that stuff out. And it's fun, you know? For us, like, it was with Taming Sorry, it was like, oh, she's a mystical being. And,
I love that album cover.
Yeah, you know, it's ultimate feminine power. She can do whatever she wants, and she can control us, and
that's
all
awesome.
this cool stuff. She's Mother Nature. That was the other angle we wanted to go with.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, so I think that mythology stuff and figuring out, like, what you represent underneath it all.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe I don't know, it's just ideas we're tossing out, but maybe the content of that album might be kind of, these songs we're putting on this one have been, you know, we've been really working on them for a long time, but we're excited to get them out and not, you know, take the mental space into something fresh once all this is done. So we, doing the recording, then we got to figure out all the album production stuff, which I'm sure you guys have been through. You could give me some pointers because we got to put everything out, physical copies. We want to do vinyl, all the artwork, all that is next. So it's a long process. It's a lot. It's daunting.
Yeah, it is.
We're doing it
daunting.
step by step, and then we'll.
And the money thing, it sucks too. But
does,
I mean, it's you have to invest if you want it to go anywhere. If you want certain things. You just kind of have to do it. And promoting the song is like more work than making the song. And as long as you're ready for that, then you'll be good. Because making the song should, for the most part, be fun. If it wasn't, then that's because, like, you had a bad time in the studio, and hopefully you'll rectify that going forward. But, I mean, otherwise, doing the song should relatively be fun over stress. But promoting a song, that's where I got the most stress, and that's where I'm amped and ready to go. And you need all of your bandmates at the starting line. For you as a trio especially, you need each member at that starting line when you drop that song, and then you all have to push in the same direction and
That's
do
good advice.
at the same time, and that's difficult. And what I mean by that specifically is, like, so if one person drops a link for a YouTube music video, then the other two need to drop that link or share that link or push that link. They're not pushing the Spotify link. They're not pushing
the same link.
You need to line up and become this synchronized unit.
Okay.
And what happens is you'll triple or quadruple what you would do. Instead of, you know, coming out one way, it comes out, boom, it echoes.
And everybody's pushing that same thing.
We loved the build up. We did things doing the countdown the days, and doing the music videos. Build the hype however you can.
For sure.
Because hype is just hype. And ultimately you want it to lead them to listening to the song. Yeah. And then they can decide for themselves if they like it or not, but the hype needs to catch them. And that's what so many of these fools on the internet are so good at today that I really don't really care for.
I know.
But these, you know, Logan Pauls or whoever they are, they're so good at the hype game. And that's what people should be aware of, too, out there, folks. I mean, a lot of the world, a lot of it. Remember, like, I remember being a kid and a vacuum salesman coming into the house, the door-to-door guy. The hype he was putting on that vacuum cleaner, it was like AC/DC to him, you know?
I know. I don't want it to be like some crazy, weird, like, sales pitch, though. Like, I feel like we're just proud and confident. I know it sounds bad, but, like,
I get it, but it's hard to do.
I don't want to try. I'm not.
That's the classic Canadian answer. I'm going to tell you right now. That's the classic Canadian answer. Yeah. So that's why I'm giving you crap.
Okay,
because
thanks.
Think about how crazy Michael Jackson was, and and listen. It drove sales. It drove a lot of sales. Okay,
and it's true.
And all these, every time you see it in the media, folks, I don't believe it. Don't just believe it for what it is. People are making money by the fistfuls at that level when information about relationships comes out, or ooh, this person married this person. Yeah. It's all baloney.
It really is.
So don't feel bad.
No, I know.
The same thing. some people messaged me and said, don't release your podcast so much. Why don't you release it once a week? And I said, because I don't care. If it upsets somebody, too bad. I'm not the first person to release stuff every day or for 5 days in a row. I'm far away from the first person to do that. So it's just, as I think we're so kind and considerate as Canadians, and for a long time I didn't promote my music at all.
Yeah.
I just released it and I was like, not anymore.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to promote it, but I just feel like we're very proud. We have already found fan base that is excited and eager for this music to come out, because we have been playing shows for the past 2.5 years or whatever, and it's we're making ourselves into the scene. People know who we are. People, oh yeah, What for Days, you know, and so I think
that's exciting.
We've
right?
kind of doing it the other way around, where like people already know who we are. They like. Obviously, a lot don't, but
that's good.
But I'm very excited that we've got people who so many people have told me, when's your album coming out? I'm so excited, I can't wait to hear it. You know, like the fact that we have that is awesome, and then can also now expand beyond that. You know, the rest of the world can hear it too. So that's where I'm excited. I'm very proud.
I got reviews from Overflow.
From Overflow,
reviews
yeah.
from your
Oh yeah,
Overflow
Sean
show.
Sisk was
Yeah,
here
and
earlier.
very good reviews.
Yeah.
They thought you were excellent, and they thought you were reviewed really well by the crowd. So I think that's great news.
I'm
and
pretty proud of our product, I guess. If you count the business aspect, we worked really hard to be
Absolutely.
where we are. So.
And the fact that you built that fan base right now before releasing the music is huge. If you can do it, do that.
And honestly, like all of the shows we played, selling all our shirts are what is helping us to make this album. Like the funds that we've got. So everybody, thank you. Everybody that's bought a shirt, everybody that's came to our shows, like you have no idea, because we are 3 moms, we have kids, we don't have the means to just drop grands on recording. So like that has all helped us immensely. So thank you, like everybody who's supported us. It's huge, and it's going to continue, and we're going to continue to give back, and we just want to inspire people. Like one woman after the show at Overflow, she was so stoked. She came up, she's like, I'm going to listen to your album when I'm on my period. I was like, that's the first time anyone said that, but I love it. And you're feeling very raw, and like just
cool.
like I know. I was like, okay, yes, and I like I'll never forget that.
That's like the people who come up to me drunk after shows and say, "We had sex to your song."
Oh wow!
And I'll be like,
"That's huge."
I don't care.
No,
like most of the time,
like,
yeah, but most of the time they're people in their 50s, folks, or you know. So I'm like,
not the people you want.
They're not some young hot couple coming up, you know. But anyways, I get it. When people tell you that, it's like tell you their music was like a part of their life in some way, or they want it to be part of their life.
Exciting.
It's very cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a really cool comment to get. You know,
yeah, there's big things coming for Wet for Days. This much I know, and especially with that music coming out.
Yes.
And big shows coming up.
Mm-hmm. Buy your tickets to the Creepshow, and there'll be more. We're gonna do an album release. We just don't know when yet, because it's still being worked on. But soon, it'll happen. It's gonna be huge.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Steph Leger, for coming in on
Warren.
All Worn Out. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Yes.
Was there
Pleasure
anything
to be
else
here.
you wanted to shout out to the good people?
I don't think so. I think I said everything. Follow us on social media. Wet for Days. We are on Instagram. There's some videos,
below.
on YouTube and stuff. Any following helps. Send us a message. You know, we love getting feedback from people about what you want to see. We're very community kind of focused, and obviously we're busy. We have so many ideas we want to do for the community, but we've been kind of crazy busy in our lives as well. But it's lots of things. Keep an eye out for us in the community and the music scene. So
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Warren.
Absolutely. In the song Kill Your Ego, I believe, in the chant, what does it say? Fuck you? Is that what comes out at some point?
I think it's go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, but we actually, I think it might, I don't know if it was me, but at one point I was like, I don't know if I want to say go fuck yourself. So we changed it to like go love somebody else. Because it's about, like, if you're just so high on yourself that you kind of forget about everyone around you. I think that's the, like, idea of the song, is that, like, you know, there are maybe people who just kind of get so high on themselves and their ego kind of takes over that they forget about the people around them. And so we change it. Sometimes we say go love somebody else instead, which is really fun, too. But it started out with go fuck yourself because it was a very angry thing.
I liked it.
Yeah, we might toss it back in there once in a while.
Just once or twice.
Yeah, okay.
Just for anger's sake.
Yeah, no, I know.
But go love somebody else is good too.
That's very momish. I think
And-
we were just like...
Yeah, you guys were like, we made the motherly choice. I don't know if we should be telling people to fuck themselves.
I don't know.
I liked it. What was the chant before it? Because it's going back and forth. It's weaving. It's not kill your ego, is it?
It might be. There's that one. And we have a chant in Listen Up, which is really moving. Oh, and Bad Date at the end is like, you're not alone.
Okay.
Stand together against violence. Stand together against hate. You're not alone. You're not alone. We can win this war together. Got each other every day. That's like a big chant at the end of Bad Date, which is really cool. And then, yeah, I can't remember the other chant, Kill Your Ego. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Well, folks,
Anyway, sorry.
you're not alone.
Just go listen to the song when it's released.
Yeah, go listen to some Wet for Days and get ready for their album. Go see a Wet for Days show live. You won't regret it. You're going to have a lot of fun. So, again, thanks so much to Steph Leger. Thanks
Thank you, Warren.
to Wet for Days for allowing me to borrow her for this hour. And thank you for watching and staying with us. And we will see you next time on All Worn Out. Bye-bye, everybody.